mean, I hate to plan anything until we get approval.
Well, and no matter what,
True, but
asphalt's not going
I'm just thinking it's
December
gonna
and
be,
March.
yeah, that could be a muddy mess.
Well, the Far West Drive wouldn't be till spring, summer.
You got that free stuff.
There would be no reason to do it.
Oh, no.
What's the point?
So, yeah, we're all keep it pretty clean. But again, it just all depends on the weather, the approvals.
Yeah, I was just concerned about you having to fight that if
Yeah.
it's really bad weather.
Yeah. No, I think we'll be okay.
Okay,
Well, that was great.
record time.
Yeah, that was record time. I'll let the next guys move in because maybe that one will go over, so.
Okay, thank you. everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Did I see
I
Chris?
saw somebody look at it.
Will you pull up
I didn't.
let's see, has some.
I really like
Will you pull up the
I hate it.
advantage?
I think it's ridiculous.
Darren,
The density is just absolutely absurd.
the swim team took third.
I'm talking about.
Oh, this,
They finished
this
up
is
already.
a good place to end.
Yeah.
And the team took third place.
You're probably
Joe
talking
got
about
sick
that.
and couldn't go.
Well, you should have said it.
He was sick last night,
This would look like a
and
house
then
project.
he woke up this morning sick, and he went to school, hoping that he could feel better and go to the meet.
Well, it doesn't
And I was
even
halfway
come
through the day,
close
said, no,
to
we can't do it.
meeting requirement
Stuff
either.
going around. Junior had that
On this,
More water than what this.
before that ever happened, I'd want to hear the
Good.
whole city council endorse this kind of density.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it. That's what we're doing.
It's over. No,
The
so
townhouse,
this next
the
one
number of
didn't think
townhouses.
it doesn't fit anything. Because it's agriculture right now, so R 115 would apply. 3rd-acre lots are as small as they could go without a development agreement.
So I was like, yeah.
I thought even A1
234
residential. A1's residential.
Okay, bye, guys.
Thanks, Rob.
Now. Hey.
Right.
Thank you, Rob. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you both probably didn't even be here.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No, it's better to be safe than sorry.
This A1. Is that not the same thing?
This, Amy's.
So A1 is a residential, yeah.
Brentwood.
So this one,
Oh, Harry's now.
is that just strictly A1? It's not A1R?
This
Is that the general plan or is that,
this is our current. So here's the.
That's the picture.
Westwood Village?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So that's all they want.
So it'll probably have to be, yeah.
If we have an interlocal agreement with parents, that they facilitate the cleaning and any design of the plans. So we might need to loop them in.
Come on in.
Yeah, but the PD overlay requires a development agreement. We can't, that we don't.
Are you gonna wanna present this?
It's just, we.
Okay,
we feel
then
it's
stay
beneficial
on that
for the city.
side. And do you wanna come swap me?
I've already had paycheck. I want to.
Sorry. Then he can kind of guide me through.
Can we pull up the plan?
Yes, but I
I'll
want,
have Robbie here answer questions.
okay. Okay,
You
yeah.
might go
Let's
ahead.
go. I'll come back over.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, you guys hang around.
Yeah, I'll hang around.
Okay,
No, we're outside.
okay, do you want
I'll
to,
go home.
well, I mean, he should,
I'll show you a picture of my daughter.
he should give the intro, tell us everything, and then we can go through. Yes, go for it, go for it.
All right, if we go back to the first page. There we go. All right, so we got the second page. That one's. All right, so just as a starter, how we got here. So we started with the Far West General Plan goals. So that's the first place we looked.
Sorry,
And,
talking.
but you're good. All right, it was just updated and approved 3 years ago, and a couple key things jumped out, right? Chapter 3 talks about parks, and the goal is a park within 1/2 mile walking distance of every citizen, 10 acres of park for every 1,000 residents, and then a 20-acre park in the same location where we're at. And 7, it again says, hey, look for a balance of open space, pavilions, playgrounds, sports fields. And then it also says, to fund them, let's work with development to find a way to do it. So if you go to the next one and you look at those goals, the map on the left shows the parks in the city currently. You see the 5 red circles are the current parks. And then that black circle down below is the property we're working on with the Slater family. And then, so I went ahead and just took a spot from the middle of Westwood Village and said, okay, how far would it be to walk or to drive? And you can see that at the top right, that, you know, the closest park is actually the one we're at right here, which would be 1.3 miles if you were to walk it. And of course, it's on the other side of the 15. And so you see that, first off, this, you know, putting a Bogan Regional Park here solves a lot of those general plan needs, specifically for people who are in that southwest part of the city. The bottom right chart shows, if you now say, okay, it's an acre of park for every 1,000 people. No, wait, is that right? 10 acres for every, no, 10 acres for every 1,000, right? So then you can see in our proposed development, you have there are actually 4 different green space park areas. And then I've got the acreage next to it. You've got Marion Park, which is the big regional one, which would be over 10 acres. Then we have another public park, which is about 3 acres, Bell Rose Park. And then you have the 2 parks that are inside of the townhomes, and they're over an acre each. So if I use that same math to say 10 acres for every 1,000, then we're putting in enough park, we're proposing enough park actually for 1,500 people. Another way to look at that is we're proposing 512 developments, which leaves actually over 1,000 for other people, which is kind of saying that the smaller parks we're putting in actually match what we would need in the regional park as sort of the add-on bonus that we're trying to give to the community at large, right? Because we have enough park for the 500 if you're using the general plan as your guideline. So if you go to the next one, then also how do we get here? So a little bit about my background. I used to be with Woodside Homes, was there for almost 18 years. So I've literally built everything up to $1 million homes. So I want to walk through sort of why did we think this is what, I mean, besides the fact that general plan talks about this being a more attainable, affordable part of the city. Also, if you look at the neighbors, you kind of say, well, here's what we have is the properties in red, and going down starting in the bottom right corner, you've got Country Place. And I went ahead and looked up on both Zillow and the tax assessor to say, you know, what is the average price and size? I'm not sure Zillow always gets it right. I don't think they actually include basements, but I use the same method on the 2, I'm going to say. So they said the average of the homes that border were 977 square feet. So my assumption is it's probably actually double that for the basement. And the average value, depending on Zillow or the assessor, let's see if I can read it from here. First, I have a copy for myself.
357.
There you go. It's 357 for the tax assessor and 388 for Zillow. Then as you go north, you've got Westwood Village, right, the mobile home park. If you go north of that, you've got the approved light industrial with the Legends. And then you have the residential portion of the Legends, which is combined townhomes and single family detached, which have a combined density of 6 units to the acre. If you go back to that lower, obviously there's a sewer treatment plant. And then up, which is really still, you know, a third mile away from our boundary, you have that next neighborhood up there in that northwest. And so I also looked up there, and the neighboring homes that border that, they are larger. They're 1943. Once again, I'd assume Zillow didn't include basements. The assessor puts them at an average of 546, and Zillow puts them at 583. So you can kind of see there's down in the bottom there is a, you know, sort of a lower price point, more density, and then obviously the sewer treatment plant. And then as you get north, you get into some of the more expensive move-up type neighborhoods. So now if you go to the next one, we're asking for a PD overlay zone. I put the municipal code on the left. And it mentions, right, one thing is to accommodate moderate income housing, which Governor Cox is saying, you know, 450 or less is kind of his magic mark there. It's also to be a combination of single family housing and townhomes. The density, it says it can go up to 6 units per acre, but then the very next one says, but actually you can go above 6 units per acre if you go ahead and designate something more like more parkland, more park space. On the right, the required open space is 20%. We're actually proposing open space of 27%, which is 35% more than is required. And I'm just highlighting that actually would be sufficient to request that density bonus under the municipal code to go above 6 units per acre. We're currently asking for 5.74. So as we haven't finished the survey work on the boundary yet, there's a bit of discrepancy. The tax assessor says it's 93 acres. My engineer, who's not here yet, says it's 89. So the 5.74 is based on 89, but since we're buying 93, I think it's closer to 5.5. So if you go to the next one. Some of the highlights of design. At this point, I want to just thank city cooperation. We've been to a couple meetings, DRC. A special thanks to Chairperson Blanchard, who is also, we found out, is moonlights as the city planning staff. So we appreciate all of her help. Some of the things that came out of it is we feel like there's a much better variety of home offerings. As you can see, there's, by the color coding, the purple or blue, yellow, and red are different lot sizes for single family detached. I think the most critical part of that is they have different lot frontages, which means you'll have different house frontages. So we're proposing you have 35, 40, and 50 foot wide, which is good because it gives you a variety of price points. They also read very differently. Like a 35 foot wide is going to be lots of 2 stories. A 50 foot wide will have 3-car garage. There's going to have 2-car garage. But you get a bunch of different types of people in different life stages, which makes, in my mind, for a more vibrant neighborhood. The townhomes, we do have some variety. We did put 4 and 5. I literally just showed the code that says it's supposed to be 4. We looked at legends and saw that the development agreement allowed for some 5s. We actually think just when you do elevations, you want people's homes to look like a home. And so it's just nice to have some fronts and some rears and some 4s and some 5s and just some different things so that you don't feel like it's just a whole lot of the same. The next one was designed for easy access, right? I mean, when you read the general plan, it just screams throughout green space, access to outdoors, openness. You can't really see on the map well, but there's lots of little trails through each neighborhood so that no matter where you are in the neighborhood, you can get to those parks fairly quickly. And if you look, they almost look probably so big. I mean, you look at it like this, but you can see like there's a line right in the middle at the top. That's a trail that cuts through. There's some on the sides up by that 3-acre park, that Belrose Park. And on the blue, you can see a line that cuts through there. That's another trail. And the idea is, and then there's a trail that goes on that green on the right. The idea is that everybody who lives there, not only is within a half-mile walking of a park, it should be faster than that. Our goal was sort of, we want to think everybody's about 5 or 6 minutes from getting to a park in the neighborhood. And then the other thing is we did is really try to buffer for future development and really have the density, as you kind of saw the nature of the neighborhood, the densities to the south, which is also closer to the large regional park. So there's sort of that trade-off, right? As you put the density where they have bigger open spaces to use as well. And then you've got the nice buffer for if the church ever just chooses to develop that property. Those red lots on average, I put it down there, were basically the same as what Legends has farther over. They actually touch those neighbors up to the north. We're at that same average lot size and minimum lot size, and there's still the whole church property to go between that and the existing neighbors, so they could actually even transition bigger if they wanted. Next one, let's get to the interesting stuff. So Marion Park, we have some ideas. Marion Park is the one that's 10 acres. It actually has 4 Mile Creek that goes along the southern boundary. So we really like, you probably can't see as well, but we have a trail proposed along there. That picture's not actually from the property, but it's from another one in Utah that you can't see. I kind of cut off the cord, but it actually has a trail. But it'll have that same feel, right, where it winds, and it's just interesting, right, for people to walk along water. It just always is. And so we like the idea, can we go with natural play here? There's big areas for some fields where you can do some sports and things. There is a little wetland area which could potentially have, a above ground walkway. You can go out to look, you want your river just to work around it. But we liked a lot of this idea of natural play here. Could we do boulders or tree stumps or things that add to this as sort of a nice open space with the water? And honestly, I found that the natural play stuff tends to have greater replayability. Like, for whatever reason, climbing on stuff for kids just never gets old. So like rocks and trees, stumps and things. So that was the thought in this one. And the other nice thing about this is there's about, if you look on it, I can't remember how big the park is, the part is next to, but the sewer treatment guys have an extra acre or two, which is right next door, which is kind of trapped on the wrong side of the creek for them. So our thought is at some point, somebody could go and ask them if they would love to donate that to the park for Far West, and then the park could get larger. Next one would be Bell Rose Park. That's a 3-acre park. We put this one up in the north because there is a main collector road that goes through the middle and sort of divides it. And once again, we were trying to have usable green space close to everybody, and we felt like the people in the north were a little far from the regional park. So they have a 3-acre park of their own. This is a more traditional park, right? We're thinking a 4-pack of pickleball courts, some of your more traditional playground equipment, swing slides, a climbing pyramid, those kinds of things. Then, if you go to the next one, I know this came up at the DRC, so I came prepared, especially because I didn't want to think we didn't listen to it, but during the meeting, we talked about moving it. Then after the meeting, we talked about, oh wait, there's all this parking there. So I wasn't sure if we had enough or not. So, because it's hard to see on the map, because you see that line, that's 89, am I remembering right, 89? That's 89 parking spaces, and you can park there and go to the trail right behind it underneath those power lines and walk your way into the park. If this group felt like we needed more parking, we could for sure still turn it. And then the bottom right, you can see there's 2 stubs from Country Place. The southern stub, we're going to just have the pedestrian access, but the northern one we thought would make a trailhead with some additional parking. And as you can see, it just has that little more land where you could actually come out and do that. And then there is also additional parking besides for the defined spaces. Because of the townhomes there are rear loaded, you actually don't have any driveways on either the street you can see there or the street that's going down north-south. It's actually going east-west. So yeah, that one. So that street, those are rear loaded right now, which means you could actually have street parking on those main streets because you don't have driveways going onto those, right? So you have that whole side both by the park, and then if you had to, you could wrap around it. All right, so then if we go to the next one, I might be close.
Oh, this one still?
Oh, appendix.
Oh.
This was just, I'll just do this real quick so you know. Rather than go and show you stuff, so I spent a lot of my time at Woodside in Central California, so I decided to just show pictures of what some of the things that I've personally built or been part of, and show some different styles, make sure there was a farmhouse because they're in there. Obviously for here we would do it, but I wanted to make sure I showed what would a 35-foot wide, those were just if we needed bigger pictures. So the pictures of the stuff I built was really to say, okay, you can actually do really nice 35-foot wide homes that live really well. These are examples here. Like I said, they typically have to be 2 stories with a 2-car garage just because they're a little narrow. But they fit really well for young couples or young couples with little kids. Once you get into a 40, which is the next one above it, you notice that now you get into still a 2-car, but you can do some singles. One on the right is a street scene. I probably built that 15 years ago, but I took the picture off of Google, so you can see they're still holding up, doing really well. Then the one above, the one on the right, believe it or not, those are super expensive homes, and those are big homes. That's still on a 60 by 100 lot. We would be doing something quite like that with, of course, the little turret and stone on it. But I just want to show the difference. And once you get to 50-foot wide, you're really talking 3-car garages. So there'd be a really nice variety of what you could do. So that was kind of the blitz through, but that was sort of what got us to here, was the thinking of starting with the general plan and really trying to go after the main goals that we got there of this green space living and be able to have everybody get there, as well as hitting some of the moderate income housing targets that this particular area was designated as being useful for. And we think it matches what it surrounds here, keeping in mind whether it's some of the neighbors. So with that.
Questions, especially relative to Robbie, so he can go home for his long day. Okay. Wherever you want to start. However.
I just wanted Rob to see the presentation because of the park.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Like, there's no stormwater incorporated into this concept plan yet. Detention basins for something like this are massive.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's sensitive land, things like that with marsh and wetlands that when you have wetlands, it doesn't really count as park, you're not running through them, things like that. And 4 Mile is our border with Mary Slaterville. We have an interlocal agreement with them that we share maintenance. And so that would be where their discharge of their stormwater would go, is 4 Mile. So it is, that's my side. But
And remember, I mean, it's a concept, so
Yeah, that's-
utilities
yeah.
aren't here. There is nothing,
Well, 17.70.020 is the sensitive land section for the ordinance. And so when I saw that today, I read through it, and I wanted to get ahold of Robin, so I'm glad he's here. So,
Well, I'd be interested in knowing where would those retention basins go? I mean, what would you give up?
well, the 3-acre park's a retention pond.
Well, that's true.
and that's all design. I mean, that's, once they
Right.
do the design,
I
then they'll
understand.
know where the
Then
retention
we'll know
is.
where it goes.
And they'll,
Michael's supposed to be here.
and this, I mean,
He's our engineer.
knowing that all of, they haven't done utility work. So this is really what does the concept look? What does the density look like? What overarching open space, et cetera, items are you missing at this point?
Well, one of the things I see is at 17.32.030E
Mhm.
says any development that's existing residential has to have single-family dwelling
Mhm.
next to it, not townhomes.
What
So
do you
your
mean?
mobile home park is existing residential, so that whole corner's got to be single-family
So that
dwellings.
wetland down there, they can't have townhomes right there in that corner.
That's got to be single-family dwelling, according to the ordinance.
To have the buffer?
Could I just review our residential ordinances?
Mhm.
This currently is zoned A1. The requirement in A1 is the lot size must be 1 acre. Okay, that's for A1. That's the minimum lot size. If it were to be rezoned, which would require city council approval and public hearing and all that, it would likely become an R115. The minimum lot size requirement for R115 is 15,000 square feet, with the proviso that up to 20% of that can be 10,000 square feet. And if you read the ordinance, it says, in no event shall the number of smaller lots as defined in section C of this section exceed 20% of the total number of buildable lots within the subdivision. If you look at this proposal, there's not a single lot
But
that
they,
even reaches that.
they're going for the PD overlay.
Well,
That's a different thing.
okay, my point is, I think this would require a joint meeting between us and the city council and an in-depth discussion, because this is a radical change from the density that we've anticipated in Far West. This isn't even close to it. As far as the argument this would help with our minimum income housing, we already have 2 developments in the works, both of which have townhouses, which are going to more than adequately satisfy that requirement for years to come. So this isn't helping us to meet the state requirement. We already have things in place for that. Myself personally, I would like to have a very open discussion about how not only the planning commission and the city council, but how the residents feel about this rather radical change in the lot size. I applaud 2 things about this. I think the design for the parks is wonderful. I like the idea of varying the size of houses, the square footage of houses. What I'm very troubled with is how tightly these houses are going to be packed. And I even wonder if they would be able to meet our minimum setback requirements side to side.
Well, they're going for the PD overlay.
Okay, well, the PD overlay, I realize that would
Right,
certainly,
but they don't,
but the PD overlay is directly inconsistent with much of the language we have in our current R115. So we would have to decide how much we want to alter that requirement before I think we'd ever entertain a PD overlay. Because the R115 reflects what we have traditionally wanted to have in Far West, okay? This represents a radical change from that in terms of packing lots of houses in a lot smaller space.
What does our general plan say for potential?
Residential use. They've done a wonderful job accommodating the park requirement, and I'm not talking about park. That's not the issue. The issue is the lot size and how much density do you want to pack into that area. Even the single-family dwellings don't meet the minimum requirement. So there you go.
Open space, did you include your roads and parking and all the driveways as your open space? If you did, it's not allowed.
Yeah, we did not. We followed.
I think they got plenty of open
Notice on your
space here.
plan You're using the patios
Yeah.
on the homes as open space.
It's
It's not about your plans.
And they can alter that. They're,
We can also.
I'm just saying it's not
Yeah.
about your
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, they
mean, the
can
park,
alter
the
and
park's
adjust.
loan are almost to the whole number.
The-
Yeah, no, I understand.
Big questions.
But I think the open space will never be the issue.
You're not covered. I'm just wishing my engineer was actually here like he's supposed to be.
I'm just, I read the
Because he did
plans,
that
went
math.
through it today.
Yeah.
And I noticed that part of the calculations included the patios on the townhomes. Okay,
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, but that's,
For those houses.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there's other requirements in the PD overlay zone, that need to be met, obviously. You're a ways away from it, in my opinion.
Darren, you worked up the PD overlay, right?
Yeah.
And you know the language strongly says what's in the best interest of the citizens of Far West. That is in caps.
And,
Okay, talk to
and
that.
it's it basically is an outline for a development agreement. So I love the open space concept. John Slater's my cousin, Marion was my aunt. So she'd be honored to have a park named after her, but the density I don't agree with. That combined with Legends is bigger than JDC Ranch. The JDC Ranch, everybody hates. So.
Another thing too is we are just cutting our teeth. We're just cutting our teeth on townhouses, okay?
Right.
We've already got 2 projects.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to launch into a very big third project involving townhouses before we kind of get a feel for how well project number 1 and 2 turned out.
And then,
80.
looking at the density, so I brought some pictures here.
Yeah.
This is JDC Ranch. These 2 houses here, they have a fence going between them. There's an AC unit right here. These people have a door here and a door here. To get to this part of their yard, they can't, unless they jump the AC unit, they can't get to the other part of their yard. This is Green Farms, 6,000 square foot. The house takes up pretty much the whole thing. This is a 1940s development down in Sugar House where my wife's grandma lives. 8,000 square feet. You got 1,000 square foot house up, you got 1,000 square foot basement, you got a attached garage out back, and you got plenty of room for yard. So I'm saying, I would vote for nothing less than 8,000 square feet.
I just think it's such a radical change from our current zoning ordinances that we need to rethink if this is what the residents of Far West want to like. I have driven past some of these places and my vision from afar, it looks like a housing project, literally a housing project. I don't care even the decor of the house. They're crammed into such a small space, into such small lots. To me, that is completely inconsistent with what we've tried to characterize Far West City to be. So this is radical enough. I think it requires some serious input, not only from the city council, but the residents as well.
If I might, we are talking about a piece of property that has light industrial as its entry to the neighborhood. It's next to the sewer treatment plant and a mobile home park. And it's already approved higher density than this as its other neighbor. Nobody who can afford a $600,000 home is going to live here. They're going to go north, or they're going to go on the other side of the 15 in Far West. I mean, the reality is nobody's saying, I want to go build my big house on a big lot next to the sewer treatment plant or the mobile home park, or drive through light industrial every day to get to it.
That would argue for maybe a buffer zone, but not 234 townhouses as a buffer zone. I understand the buffer zone concept, and in fact, we've used it twice now. And so I'm not, I may vary from Darren. I can look the other way on townhouses when they serve some functional purpose to buffer the single-family residents from commercial or Willard Canal or whatever it is. This goes far beyond a buffer zone concept.
So really, what is the demand for townhomes right now? Because they have at least 24 units built in JDC Ranch right now that have been sitting there for a long time. And last I walked through there, only 1 or 2 were occupied.
How many are there in Legends in that plan?
There's a lot in Legends.
And we got 14 more.
219, yeah, I think it's
Okay,
219.
my point is, I'll make it again. We have got already a lot in planning. Let's find out how well they work before we dive into something like this.
So the Slater family still has a right to develop their land, just like everybody else that have in plan.
Correct.
Right,
This would now be the city putting the rights of the people who came first ahead of the Slater family.
actually, no, the city can stand behind our current zoning ordinances with comfort. And that's what our current, I just read you the current zoning ordinance.
The one I'm not trying to use. I'm trying to use the zoning ordinance as the PD overlay.
Well,
Which is
but the
why-
PD overlay
We can
has,
accept or reject your use of the PD overlay.
right, very clear language in there to say, we made sure that language was in the PD overlay ordinance.
I think what this is doing actually is forcing us all as administrators to our citizens in this city to take a look at what is going to be coming at us, what's coming at us now, what has in the past year that we are now dealing with, and do some serious evaluation and investigation, again, like you say, with what surrounding citizens and landowners
Agree.
are interested in seeing in their community. I'm not saying we just ignore it altogether. I'm saying this gives us an opportunity to take a good look at it and find out if there's some medium ground that is more accessible or acceptable to the citizens.
I'm all for open dialogue,
Mhm.
Exactly.
very open dialogue.
Exactly.
How many townhomes do you have planned?
200 and something.
234, yeah.
234 in your single-family dwellings?
278.
So they do meet the 50/50
Each
requirement.
50/50.
But really, does anybody know what the demand for townhomes are right now? Because like I said, they're not selling in JDC Ranch.
And I would argue that if someone is asking to come in with a development, they're responsible for what the demand is. It's not on us for the demand.
Okay, well, that's
Well, I'd argue it's what you build, right? I mean, I understand there are bad builders who do bad design, right? I could give you even more examples than that, right? But I believe we can build something that will sell, right? Hopefully the thought of what I think the park should look like would give you an idea of what I think the home should look like, right? I mean,
Which is exactly what the state wants now, that
yes.
the current mindset in state legislature right now is they want homes built, developments developed that people can buy, get into, move into, and start to raise their family. And there are a lot of empty houses right now. Believe it or not, there are. And most of that's because they're not being built in the fashion that the state feels is affordable. They can't define affordable, they can't define moderate income, because that's so variable, it changes frequently. But it's something that they're forcing, and their incentives are all geared towards the cities, the municipalities working with the developers. So we need to look at this. But I think there's quite a bit of adjustment that needs to be made in order to make it.
One
So-
of my questions internally would be, and this is not me choosing one side or the other, is where in creating the PD overlay ordinance that we just spent a lot of time on, where did we envision it? What was the vision for it? And why doesn't it work here? I'm not saying it does or doesn't, I'm saying why doesn't it?
I'll bet the two keywords are some flexibility, but maintaining the interest of the citizens of Far West. We wanted to create some flexibility, but we're not abandoning what the residents would like. Isn't that, is that?
And we were looking at flexibility on smaller parcels because we don't have very many big parcels left in the city. And somebody might want to develop a 3 to 6 acre parcel and have a little bit higher density and give us a little open space in there as well, which would be beneficial to the city. I don't know that it was ever intended on being like this or JDC Ranch or Legends. It was more for the smaller parcels that we had left in the city that people like Kent Westergaard's field right there, that's like 4 or 5 acres, things like that. That's what we were looking at.
Can I say this? We were anticipating an open house someday.
Yeah, probably.
This would be a wonderful
Yeah.
discussion topic in an open house. Have some illustrations, some concept plans, not anything specific, just, okay, here's some ideas, here's what it would look like, here's what would happen, and get the reaction from the residents of Far West City. And I don't think we ought to do anything till we get that kind of input. I think, yes, I think we ought to present it, give them the ideas. I'm not resistant to that. I'm just saying, I don't want to jump into this when it's such a radical departure from where we've been without getting good input from citizens.
I like the idea of getting more feedback. I do have to say though, I think that the plan you've got here looks really good. I'm not against it. I do understand the concern of a radical change from 1 acre lots down to 5,000 square foot. I mean, that's a pretty substantial change. But it does fit the PD overlay requirements. And so it wouldn't require any rezones or anything like that.
Well, but with PD overlay, we're still doing what we want. It's just we can't find the mechanism for it in our current ordinance.
Right.
That's the whole
It requires
idea.
negotiation through a development agreement. And I'm not against the development. I'm against maybe that as high a density as there is in here. I think if we get community input, they'll see the parks, they'll say, okay, if we want these parks, we've got to allow a little bit higher density. What are you neighbors comfortable with here? And then, work with developers, work with planning commission, work with city council, work with the residents, and come up with a negotiated development that everybody can live with.
And there's some good elements. The park's a
There's a
good
lot of good
element. The
elements.
variable house size is a good element. I'm not saying this is a wash. I'm just saying there's an awful lot of high density in here.
Will you remember your name?
Chris.
Chris. So Chris made another point that I completely agree with, which is the surrounding areas, existing property and use there, right? I know, right, desirability of that area for, let's say, 1 acre lots with $1 million plus homes on them. I wouldn't do that. I get that.
But I would for an 8,000 square foot lot.
Maybe.
You'd probably go more.
We don't have to start.
I mean, you have to think price. You asked me what's selling. You want to know what's selling up and down the Los Angeles front right now? And when they keep saying there's a backlog, it's for all the younger generation and it's homes on these sizes. The houses that are really hard to move right now is anything that's sort of 800,000 or more is really not moving. But anything at these price points where you get like, a high 3, a 4, 5, which is kind of what we're hoping to target here. Because once you get to a 6, they're going to go north. They're going to go up by the state center and past that, right? So the real opening here is sort of that 350 to 600 to sort of everything to fit in there. So we've tried to have lots of different offerings that can hit those price points. And I agree, but when you talk to citizens, this is what the Wasatch Front looks like right now. The older generations have homes that have appreciated a ton, and they're sitting there on their equity thinking, that's awesome. The house I bought for 300,000 is now worth $1 million. But everybody who's young goes, I can't go live in that. I can't go live on an acre in Far West. How can I afford that? But they could afford this, right? And the interesting thing is, my college-age kids, I'm a Gen Xer. I want the big backyard because that's what we all grew up with. My kids think this is fantastic. Like, yep, there's enough in the back for the dog, and I can walk to the big green space, which is what I really want to do.
And when both the husband and the wife are working, they don't have time to take care of half an acre.
It's just it's just a different lifestyle. when you
Hence
go-
the reason to revisit it. Could you, what kind of side setback are you looking at? Minimum side setback.
I think we did 8s on the larger lots, and I think we're asking for 5s on the smaller ones. Yeah, because
I would hate to get to the point where to visit your neighbor, you just roll up the window and he rolls up his and you shake hands.
Okay, let me
I've
just,
seen setbacks that are that small, you're literally if they happen to make the mistake of leaving their blinds up, you can enjoy what everything's happening in their family without being in the house, you know? I mean,
Okay.
there is a benefit for
Yeah,
side
being
setbacks.
said that we're ready for our meeting. Hold on, sit down. Hold on. We can start the meeting when I decide we start the meeting. I need you as a planning commission to give them the next steps. What is the next steps you see here that then we work towards? What is their direction? That is fair to them as what is their next
Two
step?
things I would suggest.
Okay.
Definitely a joint meeting involving us and the city council and a public hearing to introduce this concept. An open house. I would think those two things are essential.
Okay.
I could be at variance with other people, but
No, I think that's the direction. Is there anything?
1732, 030. Okay, and 1770. Those are two ordinances that, are those state
Give
codes?
those to me one more time.
No, those are city ordinances.
Those are the ones, yeah.
1732, 030, which is your single-family dwelling adjoining residential development. Okay, so that's your townhomes in the southeast corner. Okay, those should be, because they're adjacent to residential, a mobile home, sorry, is a residential unit. Okay, so those should be single-family dwellings, so there may have to be some flipping of the site plan.
Does that still qualify inside the PD overlay though?
That's out of the PD overlay where I got
But
it.
PD overlay
Has a buffer.
has single family buffer.
For
They
both.
count as residential, because I think on the zoning map, they have their own zoning, right? Or M something, but they're saying it still counts, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the other thing is the 10-acre park. There's some very stringent requirements in the sensitive lands of our ordinances with regards to changing grades and doing things like that. So reports and stuff that Robbie's gonna have to review, okay? Thank goodness I don't have to do that anymore. So, but that's something that needs to be looked at as well. Okay? So it's a great concept for a park, but it may not work with what the requirements are.
All right, that was
1770.
Okay, we'll look at both.
Those are the two that I would say.
Move.
Geneva, in the public hearing, normally it's planning commission, city council is making the presentation. I would see nothing wrong with having an external entity
In the
knowledgeable
open house?
about
Open
this.
house, you mean?
Yeah, what do I keep saying?
Okay.
I've got an old head, I'm locked into that. But in the open house, I think it would be useful for you and maybe other developers. I mean, we could decide who we invite, but have people that are doing this all the time present your spiel, not for this specific project, but more generically to the public to hear. Would you be in agreement with that? I think you'd be in a better position to give them a more holistic view of this than maybe we would. So,
Does that give you some good, was there something else you wanted to say?
Not for a requirement. I was just gonna say thanks for throwing in the traffic calming measures. That's my big thing, so.
Well, I tried to anticipate what you guys were saying, what you guys think, and so that's why I threw those in there.
I appreciate you picking up on it.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that one.
Does that give you enough direction?
I think so. I was
Okay.
gonna just send you an email to follow up afterwards.
Yeah, send me an email, we'll
So I knew
follow up and then-
exactly what it meant, but it sounded like public hearing, well,
Open house.
it's not open house. for us to
Don't make
come.
my mistake.
Yeah. And
I've got an
know,
excuse, I'm 81 years old.
know this, as the developer, you can hold your own open house. And we encourage you to.
Actually, we really essentially did that with the development on 2700 North. That was an open house and they made the presentation.
For what one? Oh, on Far West Landing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and that-
Far
That's
West, oh,
basically
yeah.
what happened.
Yeah, you can host it, yeah, you're
And then-
don't wait on us, I
And then
guess.
joint work session with the city council. That was the next one.
And truthfully, that will probably be the first of next year with the meeting layouts for the rest of the year.
December.
Yeah, just so you're aware.
I don't know if I can think of very many that have 2 meetings in December.
Yeah, exactly. Or in our case, in November as well, so.
There's a
Okay.
section in one of the ordinances
Mhm.
that requires the townhomes to be 16 feet apart. And I don't know if it's applicable here or not, but I think we should check into that.
Well, I think there's much, yeah. Okay,
We're
Anything
evolving
else?
right now,
yeah.
literally.
I'm just trying to you asked for direction, those are directions.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'll look into it. Hey, thank you.
Okay,
all.
thank
Appreciate
you
your
very
time.
much.
Geneva?
Yes. You're not gonna be where? Tonight? Oh, okay, okay.
Woodside Homes?
That's what I used to do.
Oh, okay.
That's been a lot of time.
Okay. So. That's for 5 years past that.
Yeah. I hear you.
There you go.
Somewhere in
No, I haven't, thank you. Who? Yes, little Greg. Yes, he took off. And Lou. Connor, can you get this spot, or Lyle, you scoot over and
Should I just
Connor.
scoot over?
Yeah.
I'll just scoot over.
Oh, yeah, give it to her. She can mail it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh.
You get to do the prayer.
All right.
First time on the thing, you get to pray.
Connor, do you want to pray?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Good for you. Great.
I feel like it's like a big deal.
Usually most people say no.
Pass the food.
Well, next time I'll volunteer. I'm ready for next time.
For what? No.
Don't put her on the other. There you go. Now you're big time, Connor.
Big Connor. I don't know if you saw too.
No.
There's a
Jason
plan
will actually though.
path
How did she find all these? I signed a pile of them the other
with
day.
the city, with the state's, state's plan.
Or she had to do something, so I signed a whole
Stormwater.
thing of them the other day.
It's
Okay.
just for a park. I like their idea, concepts.
Connor, Lyle.
You ever been out to Syracuse?
Oh, yeah.
It's basically what.
Yeah.
Woodside Home, Syracuse. That's what it would be.
Did we expect Amy tonight? Or we just-
No, Amy should be.
Oh,
We're just waiting for Jason and then we'll say. I will say the pledge.
Yeah, yeah.
sumo.
And Greg and Lou are absent. Okay,
Little Greg. Yeah.
little Greg.
Big Greg's not gonna be here, little Greg's here.
As soon as Jason goes, we'll.
Crank that gavel, let's go.
I know Jason's just not present yet.
We need to go rescue him.
He said 2 minutes.
Excuse me.
Football game to go watch.
Shouldn't be much of a game.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order. Thank you for your patience. We are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by myself and then a prayer by Connor. If you would all stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this opportunity we have to join as a planning commission. We pray that Thou will guide us and help us to do what is best for the citizens of Far West. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
It's the new standard, guys. Hold the mic up while you pray. Okay,
Sure, I
first
can hear.
thing is public comment. Is there anyone in the public? If not, report from city council, please.
Just better get my reading glasses here. Good evening. The city council met on last Thursday on the 6th of November. Our first order of business was public comments. We had two citizens that stood. Josh Blazard, of course, we know his past contributions to the city, stood to express his appreciation to the mayor, city council, and the planning commission for their service. That was good to hear. We don't always get that. Citizen Mike Lopez stood to express his concerns about weed control along 2600 West and 3900 North. So I think the mayor took that to the Public Works Department so they can pay attention to that. Lyle gave us a report on the Planning Commission's last activities. Then the council approved business licenses for, forgive me, Badass Excavation and Steelcrest Construction. The license for Steelcrest, however, is for that property located on the southeast corner of the State Road 126 and 2700 North, the old dabbling place. Because it's not zoned for construction, the condition was that it would only be office space, not for equipment or operation of the construction. There was some concern there because of the current activities that have been going on there and what that might look like in the future. So he will be coming to the city and trying to negotiate what, because he's a new owner of that property, by the way. Council then approved a modification site plan for Ogden Cycle Association to accommodate the installation of their water tanks. The mayor then provided time for a spokesperson for the residents surrounding the proposed Park Plaza development to voice their concerns, after which he allowed a representative from the developer, Amy Roskelley, to address those concerns and give a small presentation about the development. There was lengthy discussion. It took quite a bit of time. It was very well received. The council then voted to approve the development agreement for the Park Plaza Court. And then afterwards, there was additional discussion regarding the rezone of that property from commercial C3 to mixed use. And that was approved by the city council. So that that property and the mixed use can be more congenial, not congenial, but conducive to the development matching the zone. So that was approved. The council then adopted and acknowledged the Weber County, Utah Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. As part of our CERT program, the municipalities are asked to adopt and acknowledge that plan by the county so that they can all be part of it and communicate back and forth. And that was done. That conducted the business. Council reported on assignments. Bob reported on Veterans Day event coming up, which is gone by, it was last Tuesday, which turned out very well at Smith Family Park. He also reported the recent purchase of a traffic sign. That was a portable sign, and asked for whoever might give some suggestions on where it might be placed. Being mobile, we want to start with the most significant places and then move it wherever it's needed for best efficiency. He also reported on the CERT meeting where they discussed the use of drones by emergency response, and if the city might be interested someday in the future of purchasing one of those for that purpose. There's also been some concern about communication amongst the citizens, and it was also proposed that we could use an AM radio station for emergency communication because AM is a lot more efficient that way. It doesn't fail quite as often as other radio forms. He also reported that the Weber Central Sewer District did not get their proposed tax hike for this year, but, and they're scrambling to make their budget. Guaranteed it'll come back next year, might even be more so intense next year. David reported that the trunk or treat was successful and showed his appreciation to the Youth City Council for their participation. I reported on the need for municipalities to adopt a water conservation plan. It's required by the state code now that we adopt a plan. We have an informal one that will probably make that more formal. That qualifies our citizens then for any incentive programs that any other water district or the county or the state may offer to conserve water. Also reported on that I've been reviewing the state's proposed new housing plan. It's long, it's tedious. They don't come right out and say, you will do this, you will do that. Instead, they've listed a list of tactics that they will use to help cities comply. There were 46 of those tactics, by the way. So it's pretty extensive, and as we get a little deeper into it, we see what's coming up on the next legislature. Will probably be coming back with you with some more information on that. Mayor Ficklen reported that the Trails Foundation membership drive is on, encouraged citizen participation. I reported that the information acquired from the recent safety observation count on 2700 North will be shared with UDOT, and as an incentive for them to continue to work on safety with regards to our citizens, particularly the children crossing 2700. There was a study that was very insightful that was produced by the students at USU and the engineering department. He went to that presentation. He said it was extremely good. That information will also be shared with UDOT. He reported that significant participation of the Far West City on the Wasatch Choice Workshop last Monday. Well, I think it was last or previous Monday. Anyway, there was a lot of input put in there, so it's good to have that representation there. We had, we appreciate those that attended. Our waste disposal company, Econo Waste, has been purchased by Robinson. Unofficially, I'm opposed to monopolies, but it's heading that direction everywhere we see. So Robinson owns quite a large industry in that area. We will be probably negotiating a new contract with them, a new agreement with them to make sure that our citizens are taken care of there. That was the end of those reports. The council was then adjourned at approximately 8:50. Any questions?
Who's in charge of the cert for us?
Pardon?
Who is our cert representative?
That would be our councilman, Bob DeLand.
Okay.
And he's deep into it. And if you got a question, he can either answer it or get it for you.
I'm certified, so I was just curious.
Yeah. He could use your help.
That's the thought.
Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, public hearing to consider the request of a conditional use permit for Steve Peterson for a 14,625 square foot pole barn. Do we have a motion to go into a public hearing?
I move that we go into a public hearing.
Motion by Darren,
Second.
second by Jason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I will start with, before I make you do a spiel, is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment about this? If there is none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I move we close public hearing.
Motion by Jason,
I'll second.
second by Lyle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're on to the recommendation. Does Steve want to come up? Do you have any questions related to this? State your name and address, please.
Steve Peterson, 2444 West, 2000 North, Far West.
Thank you. Any questions among the commission relative to the plan?
Now,
if I'm not mistaken, this is that roller coaster building that you're recycling.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've cut 10 feet out of it to shorten it down.
So what's the maximum height on it?
18 feet. I have 16-foot doors to get the hay wagon in.
Okay, so 18 feet to the peak?
No, 18 feet to the
Wall.
eave.
Oh, the
The
eave,
eave.
okay, okay,
And then their existing trusses, I think it's 32 feet to
Is
the
it?
peak.
okay. And where it's an ag building, we're okay as far as
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna use it for hay,
Right.
tractors, skid steers, ride my horses in it. That's kind of what I
Okay.
use it. And it's kind of tucked in behind trees. No one really sees
Yeah, I
it.
know what's going in there, just for the benefit of everyone else here.
My wife was the major opposition. She wanted,
To another building?
no one can see my barn.
She's like, not another building.
Oh, I saw that coming down over there on the property, and then I realized that,
Well,
Head over to your house.
Jeff Lowe's with me. You know, we're trying to help them be compliant.
oh, yeah.
We're bought by Persimmon Mac and they didn't want to spend the money. And finally I said, well, I'll take it down if you'll give it to me.
It was that giveaway when I saw him go past my house.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Is there a motion,
I-
discussion?
I move that we recommend the city council to approve the request of a conditional use permit for Steve Peterson for a 14,625 square foot pole barn located at the address listed.
Okay, motion by Lyle,
I'll second.
second by Darren. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, city council next week, same time.
Thank
They'll
you.
be on time, I'm sure.
Appreciate your time. Appreciate your service.
Thank you. Okay, next, recommendation to city council approval or denial of the request for a sign for Rocky Mountain Fence, Inc., located at 2202 North, 2000 West. Is there a representative here for them? Do you want to come up, say your name and address, and any questions the commission might have?
Levi Call, you want the business address or my home
Either,
address?
whichever one you know.
Well, it pertains to the business, so I'll give that one 2202 North, 2000 West, far west.
Perfect. Any questions related to the sign?
So when we looked at this, it said it's the existing sign, you're just putting it up on the rock wall. Is that?
It's in place now on top of that decorative rock wall.
Okay.
So you're just trying to make it legal, is that right?
Yes, so
Okay.
we're doing our punch list items to get our site plan approved. And Nate brought this to my attention that I needed to get this approved. So that's one of the punch list items. Is where-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting that money back.
I don't even know if there's any money there left. I don't know.
Yeah, I looked at the plans, I don't see a problem with it.
All right, I'll recommend then to the city council the approval of the Rocky Mountain Fence sign located at 2202 North, 2000 West.
Okay, motion by Darren,
I'll second.
second by Connor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, same time next week for city council, then you'll be all done.
Okay,
Same, but well, different people, but same type of meeting.
same procedure. Okay.
Yes, yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next, consider, oops, sorry, I crossed off the wrong one. Recommendation to the city council, approval or denial of the Park Plaza Court prelim subdivision plat. I'll let Amy come up. The only thing that I will make a note of on this, the commercial, Matt just recommended that comes through for a separate site plan. Cause he's like, I had some questions, so he's like, let's just separate. So this subdivision, in whoever does whatever motion, just make it conditioned on commercial site plan approval being separate than the subdivision plat.
Yeah, we typically do that anyways.
Yes, and it just, he's like, it wasn't clear. He's like, I know that was her intent, but I don't want them to approve that piece and not have a site plan. So
I love coming here so much that I want to just keep coming back.
keep rolling. Yeah, just keep rolling.
Serious.
State your name and address so that she has it.
So Amy Ross Kelly, 2772 West, 2225 North in Plain City.
Perfect. So this is the preliminary subdivision plat related to the single family homes and the townhomes.
With the commercial cutoff, right? on those
Correct,
areas.
yes. And whatever motion we do, it'll be that commercial comes back for its own site plan.
Yeah.
Because it was
so
hard,
it's-
because residential
it's-
doesn't have a site plan approval.
Yeah, so it's still the improvement plans for the commercial, but the site plan and final plot approval to come later, so.
And this is prelim, it will come back for a final. It doesn't fall under our subdivision, ALUA type stuff. So this is just her prelim. Then she'll have some direction to clean up and she'll come back.
And I do believe this is the first time I've ever gotten a preliminary approval back from a city engineer with no comments for prelim.
Oh, for,
There's usually always a list of things we've got to clean up, and there wasn't anything on the preliminary plat, just the final plat.
oh, on the plat, yes, just the final, yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, there were things, but you're.
we've had a lot of time to,
The engineering memo had stuff, but it was all the.
Yes,
technical
and
stuff,
just stuff to clean up so they can go and record the plat. so.
yeah, that'll all happen later, but yeah, I'm like, wow, I've had a lot of time to really work through the issues and figure it all out, so it's pretty clean. But any other questions about that?
Any questions, discussion?
This doesn't look like the plan has varied from the last one we saw, has it?
Has varied? No.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm still in opposition to townhomes, but I do like the general concept.
You'll like them. I promise. You'll like them. I wouldn't do something that I really didn't feel good about, and I think they'll be good for the city, and I think even the residents, once the dust kind of settles.
And it's a minimal impact. There's not very many in there, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some might have said 56.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, what's up
Jared.
with that? Let's do it.
Just kidding.
Yeah. I had a little heart murmur that day.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
You
bring
won't
that
find
up.
any evidence of that post on there anymore.
Love
And I apologize.
All right, here we go.
Greg's ready.
I recommend that the city council, we approve the Park Plaza Court preliminary subdivision minus the commercial section, which will come in at a later date.
Yep, for site plan, say.
Site plan.
Yes. Perfect. Motion by Greg.
I'm okay moving forward. I had one more question though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Can we hold off on for just a second?
It can die, yeah.
Or do we have to finish it through?
It just, no one seconded.
If no one seconds it, then it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
so-
and no one seconded it, so.
All right, I'll remake your motion.
That's okay, that's okay.
So we had you move the garbage cans over. Have we verified that the garbage truck will be able to get in there?
That will come through on site plan
Site plan?
for the, that's commercial
And
side.
it's for
Yes.
commercial, we're just doing residential.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Yeah.
we're just cutting off.
And that was his thing, parking all that. He's like, let's just do a site plan review. So that will come back.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
Then-
hold on
Do
a
you
minute.
want a
Now I have a
second?
question.
Oh, okay. Let's just kill that motion. It never got seconded.
All right, so I have a question.
Yes.
You have a double drive-through.
Remember, that is commercial.
I understand that,
Oh, okay,
okay, but it has to deal with the residential.
okay,
Let me finish my thought process,
Okay.
please, okay?
okay.
It's coming out and directing right to one of the townhomes. So every time a car comes out of there at night, that townhome on that end is gonna get lit up by cars, headlights.
I don't,
Yeah, there's a road that goes
We
throughout through
pulled-
the townhomes from the commercial.
it's
Oh,
a
straight
side
to
yard
it.
though, right? I don't think it's a.
It is a side yard, but then also you have the road that comes right through there, so the cars could split and go commercial or through the residential portion.
Who's-
And you-
Yeah, who has the mouse?
So they come out going south, the
Right.
side yard of a townhome, and yeah, they can go east or west.
But in the meantime, as they're coming out, they're lighting up that townhome every time. Coming through there at night.
Where's the Dropbox? Oh,
Is it? Oh.
yeah, go out. There you go.
Is there any way to mitigate that?
Go planning.
'Cause I know if I'm
Taco Bell?
I'm a heavy sleeper, so it won't bother me. Somebody might be a light sleeper.
you
And every
talking-
time they're coming
Yeah.
through, every time they're coming out there.
Are you talking the road coming out to the
Give it
west?
to me.
No, I'm talking about the
Coming
coming out
out
of the
south.
drive-through.
I
Oh,
have it.
yeah.
Do you want me?
I see what
Hold
you
on.
mean.
Um,
That thing
The only
there.
thing I'm
Yeah.
thinking is I can look at the plans for the townhomes and see how many windows are on the side of that
Okay, that's
house.
just my concern.
Yeah,
So,
and then a lot of times when we have stuff like that, we'll screen it with trees or something like that. So there's that
Landscaping would be
buffer.
great.
Yeah,
Like I say, that's just one of my concerns.
We've
The
got
other
a,
concern is, the traffic headed through the residential.
yeah, we've got a good, I hate to say park strips because
It's on the agenda.
they will be the
Just
death
don't
of
put
me.
any windows
But
on
a
the side of
good
the-
cushion there that we could plant some trees along there and have plenty of space.
Geneva, it's 13, page 13.
And we'll do a landscape
go, now
plan
it's-
too. when
Sure,
we commit
like I
for the
say,
site
that's-
plan.
I don't want
It's fair.
I don't want my house lit up every time there's a car coming through there. Depending on what you put in there, they could be rented up all night long.
Yeah. My neighbor's backyard, like RV pad light is on every night, all night long.
Oh, on the
Checks
side.
us. So I
Side
get
yard.
it.
Coming into unit 9.
Mhm. On the side.
Okay. Yep, I'll look into that.
And do we really need that road coming through the townhomes out to the west there? Through the commercial there that connects this one up, this one right here, coming up through there.
Where?
If you cut that off here,
That goes out to the 4,000.
what goes out to four
Oh,
thousand?
one,
This.
no,
This is commercial comes out.
and that goes up to 4,000. yeah.
My guess is the reason why the engineer did that is that it was some sort of a requirement.
Well,
Oh, for
you got
separate
1, 2,
egresses.
3, 4 exits. You got 2 down here. You just have one. So you have 3 exits over there, so that'd be 4.
That also presents the same problem for units 3 and 4 that we were just talking about with unit 9.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
When the cars come out here at night, units 3 and 4 are gonna get lit up.
What are you talking about?
When cars come, so there's a drive-through through here.
Right.
If they come through here,
Mhm.
you got units 3 and 4, the headlights are gonna shine on these guys. And this
Right.
one's gonna get hit, and if they come out here, those 2 are gonna get blasted by headlights. And granted, that might not be a problem depending on what goes in there. If something popular goes in there, people are coming through there in the dark all the time.
I feel like anywhere you go and somebody pulls in here or in there, it
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
matter
also-
if there's commercial or residential or a church or a
I get it
school,
all the
like,
time when they turn the corner.
Quickest way to 2,000.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Again,
I mean, we can,
I'm more worried about unit 9. 1 or 2, you're hitting the garage. And
yeah,
if they're 2-story, then I'd be concerned about the people up above bedrooms, but they can put blinds in and reduce out blackout curtains.
yeah,
But down the side of the house, it's a little more difficult.
yeah.
And so
I mean,
trees, I think, is a great
We
idea.
can do as much as we can, but honestly, like any subdivision, there's always gonna be that
Sure, you're gonna
one
have that,
house, right? That
Sure.
your house sits in front of a T and every time somebody stops at that stop sign, you're getting there.
You Come into an L, agreed, same thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
again, that was my concern, is just lot number 9.
yeah,
Especially if it was 1, maybe not so much, but where you have 2. And depending on who you get in there, they could be very busy throughout the night.
well, my hope is that we don't have a late night drive-through here, just a little sandwich shop, something like that, you know.
10
We wanna
o'clock.
be very thoughtful in what
Sure.
goes in there, so,
Like I say, that's all I'm asking, just,
Yeah.
a big
fair.
pine tree right there would do wonders to block the light.
Unless there's no windows on that north side of the townhome.
So she says she's gonna look at the building and see. So,
yeah. I'm
That's
not
like-
sure what the actual plans, all I have is in my mind, the floor plan, but as far as like windows, I'd have to go back and actually look at the plans and see what's on that side to screen that.
I mean, the thing is, we could continue to go and go and go and go. I mean, you're gonna have single-family residents there with kids. And if those are popular spots, they're gonna be going up and down that road with cars turning out and on them. I mean, how far can we go? You know what I mean? So at this point in time, I'm gonna recommend to the city council that we approve the site plan for the,
No,
So
this is the subdivision plat.
Preliminary
okay,
subdivision approval.
you told me to see site plan last time, so.
No,
Uh,
site plan is the condition that commercial comes back.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend to the city council that we approve the subdivision plat for the residential portion of the Park Plaza Court preliminary subdivision plat, subject to the commercial portion coming back for site plan review and approval.
Motion by Greg,
Second.
second by Jason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, city council next week.
Awesome. We'll probably, on the site plan, we'll want to get a landscape plan and a few other things ready
Yeah.
to go. So we probably won't come back with that super quick.
And you don't, you can keep this separate and when you're ready for commercial, you can do the commercial
Okay.
part.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Just
I
communicate with
appreciate it.
Matt on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next time you see me, it'll be site plan. I'm gonna just start bringing dinner.
Well, you remember,
and-
you still have final. This one does go through final.
Yeah.
So you will come through us again
Yeah,
before you probably do commercial site plan at least, or do them both together.
yeah, I think we'll probably try that. So.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Cut her off, she was saying that she was gonna bring us
Bring
dinner.
dinner,
Yeah, I mean,
Cookies,
really, like, I'm just
cookies.
thinking, if I lived in Far West, I'd just ask for a seat, because I'm
Right.
here all the time. And I'm not done yet. We have a few other projects we'd like to bring to you guys,
Yes.
so, yeah. So anyways, thanks, you guys.
Thank you. You bet.
I recommend that we, have meetings on the 27th and the 25th of December. So I can come here after turkey and get out of the coma. And maybe Santa Claus will visit me here.
I do not second.
No.
Yeah, motion dies.
Yes, motion dies.
Is there another motion?
I recommend you do not have meetings on the 27th so I can sleep in my turkey coma. And I'll be so exhausted from playing Santa Claus on the 25th. I'll need some time to rest, so I recommend we cancel those meetings.
Okay, motion by Greg,
I'll second.
second by Darren. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval of minutes dated October 23rd.
I move that we approve the minutes dated October 3rd.
Motion by Lyle,
Second?
second by Jason. All in favor, say aye.
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 Report on assignments. Greg,
Nothing at this time.
Connor,
Nothing.
we'll end with Lyle.
Yeah, end with
Jason.
me.
Traffic committee had an opportunity to work with, it's called Crosswalks Academy, who is tied in, has gotten Weber County, UTA, UDOT, and others involved in the traffic audit that was run by Tim. That went well. We actually had a number of volunteers that showed up, even brought kids. Our current mayor, and a few past people who served on either council or as mayor. It was a good group. It went well. We'll see what happens with that, but they're supposed to be reporting to UDOT, and it should help at least get us more in UDOT site than we already are. And then we've gone back and forth as a traffic committee, considering different options for the intersection of 2825 North, 2575 West, considering the safety issue of turning onto or crossing, either as a vehicle or pedestrian. We looked at doing a mini roundabout, wanted to try that out, but after further review, especially getting people like Bob Blind and our public works involved, it's too small of an intersection for fifth wheels and whatnot. So we're going to recommend city council next week instead to do a four-way stop there with crosswalks as well as some advanced signage, advanced warning signage at each end of the bend. So there's that. And then there's a group called America 250. There's a Utah division of that. The whole concept is to celebrate the nation's 250th anniversary of independence. I'd really love to see if we can get somebody who wants to help run that, run something with that. There's all sorts of directions that could go. So I'll be just making public announcements on Facebook and whatnot, try to gather up some support, because it's a really good opportunity to increase patriotism and neighborly involvement. So that's it.
Darren?
So we had an active transportation meeting last night. It ended up just being me and Katie. But we talked about the ongoing projects, sidewalk on the east side of 2000 West, and improvements for pedestrian safety on 2700 North. We've got funding for both those projects, but the funding are in 2028 and 2032. So we've got two-thirds of the funding. And then there's other things that we can do to try to procure the rest of that funding. Also, kind of the canal trail is kind of tabled until they get the whole thing concreted, because why set up a trail when they're just going to rip it up when they bring the concrete trucks in to do that? So
What are talking to trying to cover that?
I thought they were putting the trail in. So they are going to they're going to put the trail in eventually, but it's not going to be like right away. it's gonna be down the road ways.
Because here's one of the concerns I had, putting the trail up on top of there without that being covered. Young kids, dogs, the dog goes in the canal, somebody jumps in after it and they're gone. So if we're gonna put a trail up there, we gotta look at public safety as well. Because the same thing happened up on the top of Ninth Street. On that canal up there. So,
I wonder if we can find numbers, because we've got a number of other trails, not just here, but in other parts of Weber County, like the Weber River Parkway. It's similar sort of thing, fast flowing river. I wonder if there's data that shows how much of a risk that is and whether or not that's worth.
Yeah, Clearfield runs their trail right along their canal.
yeah, it's just something to think about, that's
Yeah.
all.
Well, so does the Jordan River.
And the canal isn't a fast moving thing. It's more of a reservoir during the summer. It moves like this fast.
Well, what they're doing though is
It looks like it's moving that fast on top, but it's underneath.
well, from what I understand, they're lining that to double the flow from 1,000 to 2,000 CF.
They're lining it just so that,
They're
yeah,
lining
it
it,
doesn't
yeah.
absorb.
Yeah.
Makes it even harder to actually get out of
Mhm.
It would
Makes
be,
it
yeah.
slicker,
Yeah.
even for the
Those
poor
are the
little
issues.
animals.
So, that's just my,
Yeah.
my concern.
Yeah.
Cause I actually witnessed it happen, so. Guy's dog
Hey.
jumped in. Good thing I grabbed him by the collar so he didn't jump in after. He found the dog on the green.
Anything else there?
That's it.
Okay,
Well,
got a couple of things really quick. We've had a couple of park meetings. Of course, the Mountain View, well, got the Meadows Park we're working on. The LWCF grant. I'm gonna request probably about 375 because we have to do a NEPA review on that property to make sure that there's no historical preservation, even though it's been a pasture for the last gazillion years. At any rate, and we did change a little bit on the easements. We're kind of looking at a different pathway to put the utilities just because of the proximity and how, it's just gonna be easier to move things around to get the utilities in there. And also, on the Mountain View Park, I'm trying to remember everything. The Mountain View Park, we have a little bit of money left from the grant, about 90,000 and change. And we brainstormed, and what we're doing is we're putting in a double zip line over there. And so starting Monday, I believe, Public Works is scheduled to start digging. We called up Garrett and told him how much money we had to spend, and we said, spend it all. And they came up with this idea. And then we were looking at our timeline, long story short, it was gonna cost us too much to have them do it turnkey. So Public Works is gonna grab it and get it all ready to pour concrete. And then Garrett's gonna roll in and do the rest. And with everything, our out-of-pocket will be all of $600. So he's looking at maybe, depending on the weather and stuff, maybe if it's, he said March, as far as before the concrete's poured, but it'll be ready by spring. We decided on 2 so the kids can race and things like that, so. And then there's a UORG, Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant Workshop Tour. Anybody who's interested in going for light reading. It used to be down in Cache Valley. I'd have to go down there and spend the afternoon, but this time they've offered one in Hiram, and then now they've got one at the Weber County, in the Weber County Chambers this year, which is something that's I've never done before, so it's really, I'm excited for it. And last but not least, the dock. We're almost done. And I get emotional about it. It's taking so stinking long to get it here. So I just want to put some pictures up here. Can you guys see that? I don't know how to run this.
well, just double click it.
Oh, just
instead.
double click it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, maybe
That
it's not
works.
much bigger.
Clicks outside. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is just, this is some shots today I took. What they're doing now, and I'll come down here and show you. What they're doing is they're putting trim along the edges. So you see where that, you see the trim on the edge. They're putting some aluminum trim or angle iron along there just to hold the size of the track stacking down, but it's almost done. All the concrete's poured. And this is a picture of proof that Public Works do actually do something. Let's see if I can open it, yeah.
Was anybody questioning?
Yeah, this is there hasn't, you know what, these guys, they seriously, there's nothing they can't do. These guys amaze me, everything they do. I'm just excited over it. Now, these here, these next two pictures, and I put these up here because, okay, thank you. If we can identify this person, we'll gladly give him a lifetime subscription with Hooked on Phonics, because you can see this no trespassing sign here.
Is he actually fishing out?
Yeah, he's fishing. Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. Yeah, in fact, Connor's wife took that. And this one here, same thing with a bunch of kids. So if I knew who they were, I would give them some Hooked on Phonics, some free, anyway. I meant that as a
So
joke.
excited.
But,
Yeah.
and I know they're excited to use it, but criminy, it says no trespassing, so.
Build it, they will come.
You know what? And that's true. And today when I went to take pictures, I cleaned up. I left on that dock with an armload of trash. So anyway, but that's last but not least, that's all I've got. So it's kind of exciting to see this finally coming together.
Maybe we should put a trash can on each end of that thing.
There's one over on the bench on the north side. Oh, yeah. Well, hence the reason it's left on the dock. So,
Well, and if one person does it, they all follow.
exactly. So that's all I've got.
I don't have any assignments. You guys have seen in the work session the few things that are in the pool. There's nothing really in development meeting. We haven't had development meeting in a little while, so
No.
you're not missing. I do have one last announcement, I guess, to the Planning Commission, and I'll give a little history, I guess. When I joined the Planning Commission, like 8 years ago, I joined to learn immensely and to be part of my community and to be part of something that better serves the community and do my part to give back and volunteer. And I had a strong feeling that obviously what I do in my day-to-day job was beneficial to this position. It allowed me education and things that I hope have brought good things to the commission up to now. And I've always valued that, and I volunteer a lot of time here. I know we only meet on Thursdays, but we have development meetings on Wednesday mornings. We have Thursday night meetings on Planning Commission and City Council nights. So every Thursday. We have agenda prep on Friday mornings. So I spend a lot of time here. I spend a lot of time with the mayor and the city staff, and Lyle helps me immensely. And I have loved every minute of it, and I have loved being involved and what I thought was giving some of my great experience and helping kind of balance the, difference of, we're body from many natures and many experience levels and all of those things. And I have always enjoyed mending those together. And I would say that with all the time that I put into this and devote to this and the things that I set aside to be part of this, I feel as though in the last month or so, there have been some things that have circulated that were directed toward me. And I feel as though I no longer am meant to serve in this capacity. So effective December 31st, I will be resigning from the Planning Commission. So we have one more meeting since our November meeting for Thanksgiving is canceled and our Christmas meeting. So we have one more meeting together, and I will pass along the information and the times that you guys will need to fill and put together and do all of that. And then you guys will start a fresh year with new members to fill and with new mayor and city stuff. And it's just I felt that was a good breaking point to not leave you stranded for the rest of the year, but I feel as though my time may be spent better elsewhere. So that is the announcement. And with that, I would like one last motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, motion by Darren. Second by Greg. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.